Hello everyone, it's Types, and today I'm going to be showing off my Cinccino Urshifu deck list. So before we get into the video, I'd appreciate if you liked the video and left a comment down below, as well as subscribe if you're interested in seeing more of this content. It really helps out the channel grow, and I'd appreciate any feedback you have. So getting into the deck list, this is of course built around Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX with its Gale Thrust and VMAX Rapid Flow attacks. These are two of the most powerful attacks in the whole game right now, and honestly ever, because they are very efficient at what they do. Starting off with Gale Thrust, we have an attack that for only one fighting does 30, but assuming you move into the active this turn, it does 120 more. So 150 for one is obviously very efficient, and one of the most powerful one energy attacks in the format. That means that if you have a fresh Urshifu that has no energy on it, you can just swing in for 150 out of essentially nowhere, assuming you have Urshifu V or VMAX in play from last turn. And then you also have the powerful VMAX Rapid Flow attack for fighting in a colorless energy, allowing you to deal 120 damage to two of your opponent's Pokemon of your choice. This could be bench Pokemon or active Pokemon. And then you have to discard all energy from Urshifu VMAX. So while discarding the energy is a big cost, and it is a bunch of energy, it is very powerful when you can get it off, and it can also be amplified with other effects. And we play some of those in this deck, although we don't necessarily play all of them, because the deck is slower paced, so it is meant to attack more times. So then we see that a very crucial card for it is Rapid Strike Energy. If you don't know what this does, it provides 2 energy to a Rapid Strike Pokemon, either fighting or water. So this will allow us to turn the 3 energy attacks into just 2 energy attacks, so the Rapid Strike. And then we play some copies of fighting and capture energy in it as well. And then we also see that we have the Cinccino engine with its Make Do ability, allowing you once during your turn per Cinccino to discard 2 cards, to discard 1 card from your hand to draw 2 new cards. So you can draw through your deck incredibly quickly, and it's very nice in this deck. Of course, this means we don't play traditional supporters like Research. We do play Marnie, but we don't want to be shrinking our hand all the time. So we have a slight difference in builds here. However, this is incredibly powerful, as opposed to the Inteleon build, where you're searching your deck for exactly what you need every single turn. Cinccino plays it a little slower, but it allows you to have more pieces in your hand at every given time, and not be just barely getting by, barely finding what you need, and allows you to keep going longer in the game as well. Your engine's not going to stall out during the late game because your effects are all on play. Because you can do it every turn, you just keep going through your deck, and if your opponent monitors you or something, you're fine, you can just keep going. We also play a copy of Snorlax to draw some more cards, allowing you, once during your turn, if it's in the active spot, to draw until you have 7, and then your turn ends. This is the same as Tropical Beach, the stadium, that is the Worlds promo. So it's very powerful because you can just draw a bunch of cards, and during the first few turns, you might use it, or even later on if you're needing a specific piece to finish the game out. I don't play more than one because, honestly, it's not the most important card ever. There'll be a ton of games where you won't use it, but if you get into it early, that's quite nice, allowing you to just draw some more cards. Because, as I said, you want to be acquiring a large hand size and seeing as many cards as you can, because you're not searching out individual cards as much. We also play, to round out the Pokemon, a copy of Chatot with its Lucky Match ability, allowing you, when you play it down, to flip a coin, and if heads, you recover a supporter from your discard into your hand. This is incredibly powerful because it allows you to recover your important supporters, which make this deck unique. And this could be substituted with a Pal Pad. Originally, that was in the list, but I decided to go for Chatot because you play heavy Scoop Up Nets. Scoop Up Nets also synergize quite well with Galarian Zigzagoon with its Headbutt Tantrum ability that says when you play it down, you place 1 damage counter on one of your opponent's Pokemon. This works nicely with Urshifu VMAX's attack, allowing you to spread even more. So if you come up a little short, you can use this to finish things off. You could mess around with the counts of the Galarian Zigzagoons, but overall they're very strong in the deck. We also see that we have a copy of the Simeon with its Throwing Coach ability, allowing your Rapid Strike Pokemon to do 30 more damage to your opponent's bench Pokemon B, and this is quite nice because it can allow you just to deal more damage to the bench in total, to not have to deal as much extra damage with Glaring Zigzagoon. For example, if your opponent has a Crobat V on the bench, you can you can use Throwing Coach and use VMAX Rapid Flow to do 150 snag, and then with 3 Goon Pinks, you can KO that Pokemon, which is very powerful. Keep in mind, we don't play Telescopic Sight because we don't need to buffer as much because we plan on taking the game a little slower, and we will be attacking more times, but if we just keep using VMAX Rapid Flow all the time, we're going to run out of energy. So the extra bench damage isn't as crucial. And honestly, I could see, as I said, dropping the Goon counts or dropping the Simeon if you find that you don't want that card. Moving on to the trainers here, we see immediately the 4 Quick Ball, 4 Level Ball, and 4 Evolution Incense to allow us to find our Urshifus, our Cinccinos, and really any of our cards as quickly as we can. It's very nice to just set up our engine, and then from there we can just draw through our deck very quickly. We also play 4 copies of Scoop Up Net, as well as 2 copies of Air Balloon and 2 copies of Bird Keeper. They use all form as pivots for our Urshifu to do the full effect of Gale Thrust, which might be our main attack. In some games, it definitely is, because you need that switching effect constantly. You have the Air Balloons to pivot out of your Urshifus, as well as the Bird Keepers if your opponent has Tool Scrappered them off or played something like a Tool Jammer to stop those from working as well. And then we have, of course, the 4 copies of Scoop of Nets. This primarily allows us to use our Chatot or our Glaring Zigzagoons, which is very nice for hitting the right amounts of damage or for recovering supporters. I feel that the Scoop of Nets are a crucial part of this deck because they allow you to have your engine functioning completely and to deal the extra damage or find the cards that you need in the late game. You can also use it as a healing card to pick up your Cinccinos or whatever your opponent's damage and then play it back down. Or you could use it as a pivot out of Snorlax if you choose to go with that route early on in the game. We also play 4 copies of Marnie in addition to the Bird Keepers as some extra draw support. We don't play a ton of draw supports in this list, as you might notice. That's because the Cinccinos just draw a ton of cards. One issue with this deck, you could miss the draw support early, in which case you're pretty much gonna lose pretty quickly, unfortunately, because you won't be seeing enough new cards. But the 12 copies of the Pokemon Search, as well as 6 draw supporters, makes the deck pretty solid. We also play a copy of Raihan, allowing us to accelerate a basic energy to one of our Pokemon from the discard and search for any card if one of our Pokemon was knocked out last turn. It's not a crucial card to this deck in any means, but it's very nice, allowing you to stream VMAX Rapid Flows if your Urshifu gets knocked out, or if one of your bench Cincinos or something like that gets knocked out. We also have a Phoebe to go through effects, and a boss to target something down to finish the game out. However, the crucial card in this deck is the 2 copies of Cheryl, allowing you to heal all your damage from all of your evolution Pokemon. If you do, though, you have to discard all energy from those Pokemon. The reason why this is so powerful in combination with Urshifu is after using its first attack, it will only have 1 energy on it, and after its second attack, it will have 0 on it. So it's not a particularly huge loss. And then you can immediately go back to the Gale Thrust to deal the powerful 150 damage. Additionally, with Cinccino, you can find this pretty nicely and also be drawing some other cards. And with Chatot, you can reuse this card multiple times per game, up to theoretically 7 times. But just reusing this card is very powerful. When playing this deck, will often find your opponents using a spread deck such as Dragapult, the Cheryl just completely undoing their turn, which is obviously incredibly powerful. It helps Dragapult matchup because that is one of your worst matchups, and Cheryl really makes the matchup as one that would normally be heavily in your opponent's favor to possibly slightly in your favor. Certainly not that bad, though. And then we just played the 4 copies of Rapid Strike Energy, 3 fighting, and 3 captures to set up our board better, to finish out the goal of fulfilling our attack costs, and just allow us to pivot by free retreating, or by retreating manually with capture energies or fighting energies, which is something you will be doing in order to use the Gale Thrust if you can't find your Air Balloons, Scoop of Nets, or Bird Keepers. overall, I'd highly recommend that you try this deck out. And in the upcoming days, I will be releasing some gameplay footage. The games are very interesting and a much slower pace. So I highly recommend you try these decks if you're a little tired of Inteleon engines and all of these very aggressive VMAX and B decks. If you want to enjoy this, see more of this content, I'd recommend that you press the like button or leave a comment down below. As I said, any feedback would be greatly appreciated, and I'd love it if you subscribe. As I said, that really helps me. But see you in the next video.